don't even know if they've watched it yet, Phyllis. Lily hadn't even watched it when I spoke to her.
Take it from someone who's been there. I get it. It took my kids a long time to trust me after I faked my own death.
How if you're really, 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 really lucky, you find your person. The one. The one.
What the hell are you doing here? You know what? Never mind. I don't care. Just go right back out the way you came. Whatever fresh craziness this is, I don't have time for it.
Oh, Nick.
Okay, we are live, you guys. Can you guys hear me? Say yes. Can you hear me? Are you seeing everything on the screen? Let me know. Good morning, good morning. Can you guys hear me? Let me see. I'm going to type it in the chat. Can you all hear me? Can you guys hear me? Let me know. No, you can't hear me. Okay. Look like we're going to have problems. It's the internet. Okay, let me see. What are you guys hearing? Is it buffering? Sounds bad, but low. Low volume. I don't know why it's low. Okay, we're going to try to get through this. I'm actually broadcasting from a different area. I'm not in my usual space. Too low. Oh my gosh. Hold on. My volume is up, you guys. I don't know. Maybe it's signal issues. You can hear me. Okay. Yeah, I'm not at home. I'm out for the weekend, but I didn't want to not get you guys podcasts happening, but I don't know, maybe the internet signal. Oh, Melissa says she hear me loud and clear. Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm looking at my studio and we're hearing me. Okay, good. All right, you guys, welcome to Soap Corner Talk. It's just me today. I'm going to be having a one-on-one conversation with you all. Bree had an event this morning, and so she couldn't be on. Otherwise, she do miss you guys. Yeah, normally I would have done Friday night, but I had a little bit of change of plans, so I am not in my usual place, but I wanted to make sure I got to use headphones. Okay, gotcha. I'm not in my usual place. I am out for the weekend, so I still wanted to give you guys a podcast where we can talk about what happened this week on The Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, Beyond the Gates for the week of September 8th through September 12th. Okay? So feel free to drop questions and comments and things like that in the chat. I will be addressing those. It'll be just me and you having some conversation, kind of like having my recaps with you guys being live, because normally I do my recaps alone. So, it's just more interactive in this case, okay? We had a lot going on this week. We had on The Young and the Restless deals being made. Claire not knowing what she want to do when she should be fixing her relationship, but she's chasing after Holden. Billy's about to lose it all. What else? And Kane, I think he's playing everybody. Bold and the Beautiful. We had a Whiplash breakup and wedding. Remy is back. Thomas is pissed. And poor Taylor, she got dumped again. And then Beyond the Gates had a lot going on. The tension between Tomas, Kat, and Eva. We had the finale of the whole situation with Allison and Chelsea. What's going on with Bill and Danny? So we got a lot to talk about this week. Let me know if you guys can still hear me. Everybody drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. If you can hear me clearly. Nothing's buffering. Is it low? Because I want to make sure that we, have a productive chat. So let me know if you guys can hear me. Yes, no? Let's see. I'll give it a second. Oh my God, the signal, I think. Hear me. Okay, so I see a couple of people saying that they can hear me. Okay. I want to make sure because it's buffering on your end, huh, Melissa? Let me get low. Let me get closer. How about that? Is that louder for you guys? Is that better? Oh my gosh. It's got to be signal issues. Hold on, let me see. You guys can hear me before I continue. One's in my chat. I need to know if you guys. One's in my chat. I need to know if you guys can hear me. Oh, great. Okay. Look like we are cooking with grease. Oop, I spoke too soon. It's still buffering. It went out and came back, but it's still buffering. Okay, hold on. I changed my Wi-Fi settings. Look like we got great signal now. Yes, yes, yes. Is it great? Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Is it clear? Now it's good. Okay. Look like there's some sort of delay. I can hear you now. Okay, great. Clear. All right, good. All right, so let's jump into Y&R this week. We're going to first start talking about what happened. We had the whole situation with Claire snapping on Kyle after that whole reveal of the $5 million plot that he put on his head. Okay? And the crazy thing is that you would think, uh-oh, you're buffering? Oh my gosh. Okay, let me see. Okay, how about now? Better? Good morning, Cynthia. This is crazy. Okay, so I'm just going to wing it. Good morning, all. Good morning. Okay, so basically what we had is a situation where Claire, and I did a standalone video on this. Did you guys, let me know if you saw my standalone video. I've been adding a lot more Y&R to this channel with my individual storylines that I wanted to talk about. So I'm not doing all of the recaps for Y&R. I just pick out things that was a highlight from that episode and I do a video on it. Okay? So one of the videos that I did this week with regards to Y&R was the whole situation with Claire and how I felt that she's being a hypocrite. And I really truly think that because she spent the better of a year trying to get Kyle in the good graces of Victor. Victor tested him, which was wrong, by trying to break his granddaughter's heart to prove to her that Kyle was not a good guy. The kiss came out anyway, and then Victor turns around and said, yeah, it's just a kiss. It's just a kiss, but then, you know what? He passed the test. He really loves you. He even put $5 million on his head. Now, obviously, he didn't tell her what the issue was. He said, maybe you need to talk to Kyle. So she had a conversation with Kyle and Kyle said, listen, to prove myself, I'm not in a browser, I'm in an OBS platform. So I can't refresh my browser unless you're telling everybody else to refresh. Yeah, maybe Rose is saying for you guys to refresh because I'm broadcasting from a platform, the OBS platform. Okay. Yeah, refresh it, guys. All right, so back to what I was saying. So this whole thing with Claire, to me, I mean, she then finds out about the kiss. She had the confrontation with Audra last week. She has a conversation instead of, and obviously Kyle. Oh, yeah, no problem, no problem. Um, so here's the thing. So Kyle confronts Holden to back off. Holden is like, look, I don't want your girl, which I don't think he's being honest. But he's saying, listen, I went to bat for you and Claire to tell Audra to back off. Claire comes in talking about you can't control my life. You can't tell me who I can be friends with, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, wait, girl. So it's okay for you to have a male friend that you get drunk with. At the same time, making it not okay for Kyle. And it is not okay. He's in a relationship. He shouldn't have kissed Claire. Okay? However, it's not on the flip side okay for Claire to be having this sort of drunken friendship where she's talking about her relationship to Holden and then trying to save Holden. So there was that conversation in the park where she was having that conversation about, tell me about what happened between you and Audra. And he says, well, what I did was illegal. And she said, and he also said, it might change how you feel about me. And she was like, well, it won't change how I feel about you. Maybe I can help you. And part of my video that I did, I was like, Claire, stop it. What do you mean? Help Holden when you should be working on figuring out your relationship with Kyle. But I think here's my perspective. And you guys in the chat, being that you guys can hear me, let me know what you think. Do you guys actually think that Claire is got maybe some low-level interest in Holden, even though she claims to love Kyle? Do you guys think that she has some low-level interest in Holden? Let me know. Just drop a yes in the chat. And I know there's a lag time, so probably by the time you hear that question, I'll be in a different topic. So I'll give it a couple seconds and see if you guys can actually hear me and answer the question. But I actually think that Claire is being a little bit of a hypocrite in this scenario. Victor finally gave her the seal of approval. Victor said, listen, yeah, it was a kiss, but he passed the test. He took her so far to see if she would actually do it. Yeah, Claire don't know what she wants. You're right, Melissa. Yeah, she's being a hypocrite, So I'm like, you know what, girl, just take several seats. If you want Holden, break it off with Claire. Break it off with Kyle. And pursue this thing with Holden. Now, I don't think Victor is going to be happy about that. Hey, Miss Welder. Yes, you finally caught her live. It's just me having a conversation with the chat this morning. Bree had another event. I'm away for the weekend, but I wanted to carve out some time this weekend to, have a chat with you guys live about this past week. Okay. So that was one of the biggest things that I had an issue with Claire. Claire can't make two wrongs and one right, I guess. Two wrongs don't make a right. I think that's how I put it in my standalone video. you can't put all these restrictions and level of accountability, and he can't keep secrets from you. But you didn't tell Kyle that you got drunk with Holden that night, and you standing up for Holden, and you get to have a drunken night with him and tell secrets about your relationship, and you're trying to get secrets out of him to help him with the situation. You should be focusing on your relationship. It's crazy. So pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what y'all thought of that particular plot line. Another standalone video that I did this week was the one about Billy Abbott. So Billy and Sally was going to do a big grand opening for Abbott Communications. They had no idea what they were up against. They were dressed to the nines in their little 1950s outfits. And when they walked into society, none other than Kane Ashby was sitting there saying that he canceled the plans. He called it off. He called Audra. He called Jack. He sent text messages or whatever and called the whole thing off. Now, I thought that was the funniest thing ever. David says she didn't tell Kyle she planned to poison Jordan as well. Exactly. She got a lot of little secrets on her own, David. You know what I mean? Miss Welder says, oh my God, I hope they take Victor down, but we all know that's not going to happen. I know, right? He might get a little bit of a dent in his armor, but at the end of the day, Victor always wins. But, I'll take the short victory just to get a couple of laughs out of it. You know what I mean? But back to Billy. So, Kane, and then that also includes Phyllis, because Phyllis didn't know about the AI thing, right? However, she had a conversation with Nicholas in the park where Nick told her, hey, I need to know what's going on with this AI project. My dad found out about it, and you're an AI or a hacker guru. Did you help him put it together? Does it actually exist? And Phyllis knew nothing about it because obviously Kane has been pushing her off. Well, she found out about it the night of this so-called party that was canceled because, and make sure y'all tapping the like button and get the engagement up. Here's my thing with that. So Kane, I think, kept Phyllis out of the loop to protect her. But of course, Phyllis is like, listen, I need to know everything. You can't keep things like this from me if we're going to be partners. And I agree with that. Now, do I think that it is illegal? Yeah, because an AI system that goes and corrupt other businesses and steals money and proprietary information, of course, it's a terrible thing. Okay? But, for soapy drama, I think it's cool. And Billy, on the other hand, see the potential, but Sally is not having it. So Jack and Diane had a conversation this week, and of course, Diane was like, yeah, I think Billy is going to flip the script on you. And Jack was like, no, I have my faith in him. We had a great conversation. He wouldn't do that to me, all that old kind of stuff. Well, unfortunately, Jack got egg on his face later. But before that, there was this big old argument between Billy and Sally. And looked like Phyllis says, that, Kane wants Billy to be the fall guy to get Chancellor because he wants to recruit them to help him outsmart Victor because Victor has information about this AI program that exists. And Victor wants it. Now, remember, there was a conversation between Nick, Victoria, and Adam. Adam is interested. Nick and Victoria is like, it could get us in legal trouble. And so, as much as Nick doesn't want it, Victor wants it. And he wants to have it to use it against Jabot out of any company. He wants to cripple Jabot in the process. Back to Billy, though. But oh my God, Ron says, "Hey ladies, Tamara Braun play Ava on days." Yes, she is coming over. We kind of talked about that last week too. We did. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see. I think Sienna Bacall is her Young and the Restless character name. So that's correct. But Billy's about to lose everything. Or maybe he'll stand on top and lose everything. So one or two things could happen. He could lose everything by this plan blowing up in his face, right? Or he could lose everything by even maybe teaming up with Kane. He might gain Chancellor, but he's going to lose Sally and Jack in the process. So, yeah, I don't see an upside for Billy in this. And, I mean, the thing is that that's not going to happen. He's the star of the show. Oh, okay, gotcha. Y'all must be talking about Billy is going to sink faster than the Titanic. I know, right? He's going to crash and burn. He really is. And it's unfortunate because he has a gambling mindset. And, I mean, there are low levels like, what they call that, fantasy sports, or maybe scratching a lottery ticket or two. Okay, that's fine. Or playing the lottery. Hey, everybody do that. But Billy is on a whole nother level. Billy needs to go to AA for gambling. And here in this process, he sees what's attainable, but he don't see what the losses are that could come with it. That's his problem. He's like, yeah, I want to go for all of it. But in the process of going for the big fish, he's going to lose everything else around him, which he don't see. Miss Welder says Sally needs to walk away. She told Billy she loved him. Billy has not said that he loves her. He does not care about Sally. We talked about that last week. I don't know if we talked about that last week in the live, or we talked about that in our group chat. But yeah, Sally always tells Billy that she loves him, but he never says it back, which is a red flag. So does he really love Sally, or he just... Because remember, this is a rebound relationship. They were in two other relationships, with Chelsea being with Billy and Sally being with Adam. And because Adam and Chelsea had an affair on them, they turn around and rebounded to each other. And that's not a good recipe for a foundation of a relationship. You figure that, hey, I'm going to stick it to them, and at the same time, I don't want to be lonely, so let's get together. That's not how that works. And so Sally is about to be out, whether Billy is in a solid relationship or not, or she just cut him loose because of this whole thing with Kane. Hey, Aisha, good morning. Ron Julian, we're not talking about days over here. We're talking about Y&R. Let's stay on track, Ron. But welcome in. I know you're one of my OGs, but let's kind of keep it on track. It's just me today, so I want to make sure I keep everybody focused so we can get through all three of these soaps today. So I am curious. Aisha, I am away for the weekend. So normally it's still on Friday nights, but I did it today because I was away. And I wanted to make sure that you guys get your time for the chats. Okay? On a serious note, he loves Sally's company and support. Exactly, David Hall. That's what it is. He liked the fact that she's around and the fact that she supports him. Now, I do like the conversation that Phyllis had with Sally before Sally walked off. Phyllis spoke from its experience. So if you guys remember when Gina Tognoni played Phyllis back I don't know, about maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and she was in a relationship with Billy. Phyllis was an enabler, and as much as all of the promises and, we can do this and I want to get the big fish, it blew up in their face. Remember the whole thing with Jabot? Phyllis spoke from experience to Sally like, look, girl, it's only going down from here. Because once Billy get in that gambling mindset, it's over. It's over. You know what I mean? So she spoke facts. So I do have to give Phyllis her props by giving Sally the heads up. Like, look, girl, as much as you want to support this man, you're going to get dragged down the rabbit hole when he gets into this whole betting or gambling mindset. That's what gets him every time. He loved to take the biggest risk, even if he means losing all of it. And in this case, Jack took back every penny of his investment. He don't want the Abbott name on the company. He's done. Jack is done. And I thought Sally was about to be done. Well, no, because this is a Sunday morning, and Bree had another event this morning. If I had did it later, I could have had Bree on, but yeah, I have a lot of other events going on later, so I want to make sure I carve out some time this morning for all of you. All right, I did another standalone video about Michael being a simp. So as we know, there was big issues this past year with Michael being a gopher for Victor Newman, and Michael always in with the short end of the stick. So Michael tried to protect him by keeping him out of prison with the whole Jordan situation. He hate that. Victor said he betrayed him. Then Michael tried to play mediator between him and Jack, even though he planted moles over at Jabot. It still wasn't enough. And then because Lauren was sick and tired of being sick and tired of the whole situation, he quit and said, I'm going to retirement. And instead of Victor saying, oh, okay, you know what, have a great retirement, Victor decides to shun him. We saw what happened at Nikki's birthday party. He said, okay, you want to quit? Fine, be gone. I'm going to play passive aggressive with you. I'm out. Don't even talk to me. Yeah, he's just really being mean to him. Well, in the meantime, Michael still wants the friendship, even though, Victor doesn't want to have anything to do with him. Victor doesn't even want the friendship. Victor is like, listen, the only way that I will give you any attention is if you do something for me, which brings in Kane again. So Kane made Michael an offer with a bunch of zeros behind it to work for him, right? Good morning, Monique. And so when Kane gave him that offer, Michael decides to use this as a way to get back into the good graces of Victor Newman. And Victor is like, listen, stop playing with me. Why are you here? Either you go over there and take the money, because even if you do take the money, you're going to end up working for me anyway, because I got Kane in my back pocket. So if you work for him, you work for me. But hey, as a caveat, be a double agent. Go tell Kane you'll take his money, you'll work for me, and I need you to report back to me what's going on. And just like a knucklehead, what did he decide to do? He decided to do it. I can't wait to hear what Lauren has to say about this. Let me see what y'all talking about. Tanya says, no matter what, Billy does whatever Billy does, he seems to lose. Absolutely. David says, Michael had me laughing with the kiss the Victor's ring comment. David, he talking about he's not kissing the ring. He is absolutely kissing the ring. Monique said, just got off work. Was surprised to see the live early in the morning. Yes, welcome in. Normally it's Friday night, but because I'm away for the weekend, I wanted to make sure I got you guys some time before I start my day and us have a conversation about what happened this week. Miss Welder said, I think Kane is playing Michael. I think so too. Kane ain't stupid. I think Kane knows that he's reporting back to Victor and he did it on purpose. Absolutely. I think he's playing everybody. Yep, and I'm here for it. I am. Good morning, Sandra. Good morning. Happy Saturday. But Michael is an idiot because he's playing two in the middle. And if Kane is playing him, it's going to blow up in his face. And then Victor is going to blame him for saying, didn't you know better? You should have known he was playing you. You brought me back bad information. What use are you? I could imagine him saying that right now. So Michael's going to lose in the end because if Kane plays him, instead of Victor blaming Kane, he's going to blame Michael because he would have put the responsibility on him to know better. Yep. So, yeah, when I said in my standalone video that he gets the Simp Olympics, we gave him the Diamond Simp Olympics last week. Well, he's going to get it this week as well. Yes, yes, and yes. All right. The other thing that kind of came up this week was the situation between Mariah and Tessa. Tessa is done. She like, look, girl, now you finna run off to Boston. You need some therapy. Get you some therapy, but I'm just about over it because you're not telling me nothing. We used to tell each other everything, and now you just not gonna tell me nothing. And she was like, look, don't talk to me no more. And the moment Tessa got ready to walk away, Mariah was like, I almost killed somebody. So the key word is almost. So did she unalive somebody or did she almost do it? Now, remember they gave us flashbacks about 6 months ago because this is a slow moving storyline, you guys. But yeah. Let me see. Sandra said, I can't believe Michael is still acting like Victor's idiot. Believe it, Sandra. That's why he's getting the Soap Olympics. The Simp Olympics. Bree is in the chat, y'all. Good morning, Bree girl. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, girl. Hey. I know you out there with your son. Hopefully, y'all having a good time out there. Hopefully, y'all having a great time with the event. Yeah, she's in the chat. All right. What if Kane ain't playing nobody? You can't agree to what everybody says half of the time. I mean, it's possible, Sawana. He could just be thinking that everything is status quo, and he end up getting bombs blowed up in his face. So, it's possible. I agree with that. So I don't know what they're doing with this storyline. I honestly think that this whole thing with Mariah and unaliving somebody that's been dragging for the last 6-7 months is a bridge to the whole thing with Daniel and Tessa. And it's like, listen, do we have to drag this out this long to put Daniel and Tessa together? And look like Tessa took it in stride with the whole beautiful comment that Daniel gave her. Obviously, it looks like Daniel have feelings for Tessa. And we did see Mariah walk up on them too. But I don't know. Where do we go from here? Now that she told Tessa that she almost unalived somebody, are they going to try to work through it? Is Mariah just going to go ahead and leave town to get therapy for it? And does this mean the beginning of Tessa and Daniel? So I guess we'll have to see. Bree said Michael earned his diamond medal. I wish I was one that surpassed diamond. I wish there was one that surpassed. Girl, listen, let me think. How about the Cosmic Award? He is the simp of the universe. Would that work? Let me know. I have not really watched YNR. I quit being. Absolutely, Sandra. I'm interested in the Kane thing because I kind of want Kane to at least put a dent in the armor of Victor. You know what I mean? So we'll see. Bree says Mariah pops in once a month. Her storyline is not interesting anymore. I know, right? They let it drag out too long. Simple, the universe is perfect. All right, girl, we'll use that. He'll get the cosmic medal, the cosmic award. You know how you have Miss Universe? We'll give Michael Simp of the Universe award for this week. There you go. Perfect. David says, I don't remember the conversation Kane and Amanda had. He told Amanda they won't see it coming. So Kane is definitely planning something. Absolutely. So that's the only thing I'm looking forward to, in my opinion. But this whole Tessa Mariah Daniel thing is Sleepy Town. I hope they break up Sally and Billy, because to me they're a boring couple. And not boring in a good way, because sometimes couples with no issues is actually, and they're able to work through things. It's a good thing. But they're boring as they don't have soap chemistry. So, yes. Let me think. I'm wondering, will Claire and Holden, girl, Sawana girl. Sawana girl. All right, be careful, Bree. Be careful, be careful, be careful. Enjoy your church event with your son. Yeah, Brooklyn, I want her to get a win as well, Phyllis. I'm wondering with Claire. I want to go back to Sawana's comment. Listen, Sawana, she spent more time trying to save Holden from Kyle, apologize for Kyle to Holden. It's like, girl, your relationship is over there. You need to be figuring that out instead of trying to help Holden. And she looked like she's interested in Holden. So I agree with you. So, yeah, that's what we pretty much had on Y&R. Like I said, the biggest things was the 3 things that I did standalone videos. Was this whole thing with Claire being a hypocrite, Billy losing it all, and Michael being one big giant simp. So, all right. You guys, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. You can follow us on Facebook or jump in the Facebook group. It is slowly going. I see a lot of you guys chatting about the soaps in there. Follow us on IG, TikTok, X, Threads, all over the place. Just type in Soap Corner Talk and you will find us. So Warner said, of course, I love seeing Claire with Holden. Claire's just boring with Kyle. Hey, girl, they might just do the switch up. Here's the thing. She went through a whole year trying to get Claire in Victor's good graces. Victor now accepts Kyle. And now she switched to Holden. And the fact that Holden used to work for Kane, I don't think Victor's going to be happy about that at all. All right, let's talk about some bold business. So, I'm not feeling the storyline, and I'm going to get this part out the way because, it's just like, look like they don't care. And I know a lot of the fans, some of the vloggers have been talking about this whole thing with Luna. We've been talking about it for the last several weeks, how Will did not give consent because he was drunk, and Luna took it upon herself to take advantage. Okay? And, I don't like double standards. I know they exist. Okay? The problem is that in the time period that we live in, a woman being under any influence, whether it's alcohol, whether it's medication, whether it's whatever. If she does not give consent, we all know what that is, and that's RAP3. Okay? Because it's a young guy, they put it in a soap and they figure, like, oh, it'll kind of be watered down. Then we throw Katie in this by saying, oh, I'm sorry that that happened to you. You know, I hate that, but don't tell your girlfriend. Bad advice. Your son just got victimized. Now, I know we could be taking this to a whole other level, but I don't see it that way. Okay? I see it that it was wrong. I don't like the plot line. We've talked about it on this podcast for the last several weeks, and they keep replaying the scene. Now, another thing I noticed in the dialogue, and I don't care if the writer's production, you can hear it. We're just fans watching the show. Good morning, Gail. Good morning. Good morning. Sharon says, since Ridge is crossing over to the gate, Sally should cross over the bowl. She would be good for Thomas. I'm wondering, would they revisit that? Didn't Thomas have a relationship with Sally in the past when she was over there? That would be interesting. Tamika says, what I laugh is when Ridge immediately leaving Taylor crying, but what's funny is Carter officiating wedding, but his blissful wedding is going on. Yeah, his wedding is about to go up in flames. We'll talk about that. I'm wondering if the new guy going to be Douglas or Jack, but he's going to be in a relationship with Remy. I did see that. Yep. Remy's back, and then there's another young man that's coming onto the show, and Remy and him is in a couple. So I'm assuming that Remy is bi, because Remy was also attracted to Electra. So it's safe to say that Remy is bi, just like Mariah and Tessa were bi. And I'm assuming Chelsea on Beyond the Gates was bi as well, because she was with men as well. So, all right. I'm going to finish up this plot line, and then we're going to keep it moving. I'm tired of them re-showing this. And part of the dialogue that I did not like is they're saying, or in so many words, with the dialogue that the Luna character, so this is nothing to do with the actress, but the Luna character and the way it's written, saying your body reacted, so you must wanted it. Human bodies react to stimuli. So if you stuck me with something sharp, I'm going to react. That doesn't mean that I liked it or wanted it to happen. Okay? He thought it was Electra. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to even address this. I'm going to say my little pieces about this, and I'm going to move on. Just to knock this out the way, because I'm over this storyline. I don't even know how to, unless Lisa Yamada is leaving, I don't even know how they're going to back her out of this. Maybe the Luna character is going to go to prison. I don't know. But this is insane. Y'all turned from 2023, brought this character, a great actress over here, only to have multiple plot lines of her being evil. And then y'all take it to the pinnacle of this whole thing and throw an RAP3 situation in there. And I know it happened in the past with Amber, and I know it happened in the past with Sheila Carter. However, this is 2025. This is a different time period. Nobody should be taking advantage of nobody under the influence. And I'm going to leave it right there. Remy's back. Remy wants to know why she's still alive, and now she's trying to recruit Remy into this whole thing to help her out. And they kind of left us with a cliffhanger, because with the previews for next week, Lee looked like she's about to choke the life out of her. And Bill and Katie, they do have a conversation with their son this past week about the fact that Luna's alive, and so we'll probably see more of that next week. Okay. Let me read some of y'all comments. Let me go back. I gotta scroll. Y'all chitter chattering. Okay. Victoria said, I don't like it either. Tamika said, I love how Thomas go after Brooke, but I would love for my Thomas to spend more energy on Ridge. Me too, Tamika. Me too. He need to push that energy on his dad. David said, I agree. This only happens in real life with female school teachers, students, and become an epidemic. Tanya says, I really want to see when Ian Ward is going to come back and turn Victor's world upside down. Oh, Lord, because we do know he's still alive. Sharon said, a wedding with no marriage license, is that even legal? So we'll talk about that in a minute because there was paperwork that Carter brought into the room. Aisha said, I'm so tired of Brooke and Ridge. Girl, me too. If y'all going to get together, just stay together. Aisha said, Luna, it's a trip. She plays her role well. Yeah, Lisa Yamada is an excellent actress. I think he should know who he's kissing. Absolutely. I just want to know why Lee was messed up for the Luna. Because she's about to go to jail. She lied once again. Now, she got off in 2022 when she saved her son, Lord, he's been gone so long. Right? But she pronounced this girl dead. She took a body out of there. The police wanted her in prison, and you aided and abetted a fugitive, and you were hiding her out. So that's why she's about to lose everything unless Bill says, I know that you tried to help her. We can't hold you accountable, but I don't see that happening. The way he went at Grace Buckingham for lying to his son. Now Dr. Lee Finnegan for lying about Luna. I don't know if they're gonna let her off the hook. This is gonna be good on Monday. Yeah, tell me about it. Bell want Luna back on the only lifeline to an Emmy. Yeah, but they could have did something different, Sharon. We all know Ridge and Brooke won't last. Okay, I see a lot of Ridge and Brooke comments. We're going to address that shortly. Michael Douglas in Disclosure. Yes, Brooklyn. I saw that Lee got one-handed chokehold on her. Yep. Will should have called the police first. Absolutely. Yes, Thomas needs to go off on all of them. Will is no match for Luna. Bell did say in an interview that Ridge and Brooke are in game. Okay, so we'll get to that. All right, so yeah, I'm just over this. I'm interested to see what her fallout is going to be on this, because Lee is in trouble. Sheila is going to be in trouble too, because Sheila knew about it. Deacon is going to be pissed. And Deacon might call off the marriage because she been keeping this big old secret with this girl being alive, which also make her an accessory. Plus, Sheila knew what Luna did in regards to Will. So that makes it worse for her than it does for Lee. So I think Sheila's about to lose everything. Trying to protect that girl. She's probably about to lose her marriage. She was running a business. Everybody kind of backed off of Sheila for a minute. Yeah. They're going to lose it when they find out that Sheila also knew what Luna did to Will. And she didn't say anything. Lee didn't know. So she might get a little bit of a pass. Right? Maybe. But Sheila knew all of it. So, yeah, I have a feeling that she was going to be cooked. All right, let's move along. Let's talk about Thomas and Taylor and Ridge. So, Brooke has been begging Ridge to make things right, which is what he said in Naples, to get back with her, which I addressed a comment on one of my videos. And thank you for the comment. I appreciate the dialogue and the interaction. The comment was something to the fact that everybody blames the women in this situation, but not Ridge. We're always blaming Ridge. We call him the Waffle King. Bree call him Pinecone Poppy because of his behavior. He keep bouncing back. But the only way that something can bounce is if there's something to bounce off of. And I know they tried it in the past with that stupid little pact at the end of 2022. I think that was 22, yeah. Where Brooke instantly broke the pact when she kissed Ridge under the mistletoe at Christmas 2023, the end of 2022. But they tried that whole little pact where, it was Krista Allen and, that Taylor, where they was like, you know what, Ridge, screw you. We don't want to be with you. We're going to say yes to ourselves. And they had this little sisterhood pact going on that didn't last, right? Exactly, Cheryl. These women keep taking him back. That's the problem. Ridge could bounce back and forth. I mean, look at up until recently, and we still don't know, but look at Liam. Liam has been waffling back and forth since the divorce. He went to Steph, tried to kiss Steph. Steph stayed with her husband, even though she kept that secret a kiss. But she stayed with her husband. She told him, listen, I'm married. You can't do that no more. We're friends. We're co-parents. Then he bounced back to Hope early this year. Then he bounced back to Steph with the whole thing with Luna. And he wanted to protect Steffi. Then he just bounced back to Hope again. Right? And each of these women has been saying no for a better of 2 years. Why can't Brooke and Ridge and Brooke and Taylor do the same thing? Why can't they do the same thing? They be like, listen, dude, no. You just cussed my daughter out, calling her a nasty B. You call her an SLUT and all those other words. And Taylor, she just got dumped at the altar in 2022. You know what I mean? So it's like, why do y'all keep doing a tennis match with the ping pong ball, which is Ridge? If y'all stop playing the game, maybe he'll go somewhere else. Or maybe he'll just sit it out like Liam did. Let him sit it out for a while like Liam did. Let me see what y'all talking about. Oh my gosh. Deacon calling the marriage off? Yes, Tamika. I'm tired of the Ridge and Eric thing. That's got to get told. I like them as friends. These women keep taking them back. Yes, Cheryl. Thomas coming back with the same storyline. Yeah, I'm disappointed about that. They trying to make this man crazy all over again. We had got a break from the crazy Thomas. We had the whole thing with Hope for the past 2 years, and then y'all erased that history, putting Hope with Carter. Like the kiss in Rome didn't happen, but y'all had Carter googling eyes at Hope. I mean, it's just a mess back there. I don't know what they're doing in the writing room. Yep. It's Ridge's fault, but Brooke and Eric and Katie shouldn't had nothing to do with it. But once Ridge see Taylor move on, he's going to get jealous. Exactly, Sawana. Tamika said, love my Thomas the best. He have all right is to go nuclear on Brooke, and I want Thomas to go bananas on Ridge. I do too. Ridge don't realize Ridge messed up Thomas' life by his behavior. I agree with Sandra. Ridge and all the women who want to deal with keep hurting Brooke and Taylor. That's too old. It makes me not even want to look at. Yeah, a lot of people are bowing out of the Bold and the Beautiful. Thomas popped up in that office on Brooke like that Friday the 13th. You are crazy. Jason Voorhees. Melissa said, T, I think the whole Italy accident was for Ridge to see what his life would be like without Brooke. Well, he did the same thing when he thought Taylor was dying, which is why he went over there doing all of that, what is that called? Chakra stuff. When Taylor came back and said that she had congestive heart failure before they found out she had broken heart syndrome, Ridge did the same thing. Ridge was like, oh my God, you're dying? Oh, I gotta be with her. She needs me to be over there. And then the whole coup with the company happened. And then he's over there with Taylor. So it's kind of similar. Ridge thought Taylor was dying. He was always over there. Now, the moment they flipped it, where Brooke almost lost her life in Naples, now he's over there. He don't know what he want to do. He want both of them. And they both should say, dude, kick rocks. Okay, we got to keep it going. All right, so after the breakup, when Ridge told Taylor that when Brooke almost died, it hit me what my life would be without her. Taylor knew it's a wrap. She was like, okay, cool. You know what? You go do you. It hurt, but bye. Taylor better not take him back ever again. Ever again. And I know I have no control over that. The writing room has control over that. But I hope she never take him back ever again. So then he runs out of there and goes straight over to the office with a rose, proposes to Brooke, call Carter. Carter draw up paperwork to file papers into the, what they call it, the clerk's office, because he had that cardboard blue paper thing when he walked in the door. They signed the papers. Carter performed the wedding, and now they're married again. He pulled a ring off that table, whatever. I'm like, y'all need to put these two together and keep them together like Victor and Nikki. Let's just keep them together. No more waffling. Give Taylor a new man. And let's just move on from this. I could care less about, excuse me. I could care less about Brooke and Ridge. I'm over it. If you're going to keep them two together, let them stay there. But from the way that it looks, now Thomas is involved. Thomas is pissed. He bust up in that room. I don't know how many times these women are not going to change into lingerie in a corporate office. Remember, Hope did the same thing. Remember, Hope did the same thing? And what was that? When Finn tripped up in there and Steffi thought that Hope was coming for her man and all this kind of stuff. How many times y'all gonna keep changing in an office? Go home. If you want to figure out, take the pieces of lingerie, take them home and try them on. I mean, you're the executive team. And of course, Thomas walks in, confronts Brooke, and Brooke is looking like, oof. First of all, I'm standing in my lingerie. And second of all, Thomas is hotter than fish grease. Exactly, Indigo. Brooke and Ridge are boring. Boring. Cynthia, you over it too, girl? I am over it. But Brooke and Ridge, yeah, and Thomas is over it. But Thomas need to have a confrontation with his father. Yes, Brooke accepted him back. Ridge initiated it. It wasn't that, you know, I can't say that Brooke wasn't 100% manipulative, because there was part of her that she admitted a couple weeks ago to Ridge that she was trying to make him jealous. But majority of this is on Ridge. He was the one that got in his feelings about losing her. Okay? So that was on him. That confrontation needs to happen with his father. And I hope, based on those promos, that we get to see it. That's on Monday. Great. I'm looking forward to it too. But this whole whiplash breakup and wedding is insane. I guess they didn't want to bore us with a whole nother dressed up in a wedding dress thing. They like, listen, I ain't finna wait no more. Let's get the papers. We got an attorney on staff. Let's do it. Okay, I'm over it. I'm looking forward to the confrontation. And here's my other issue with this whole thing, is the fact that, to me, they have been really insensitive of Taylor. So when Eric, this girl is living in your house all this time, and granted, obviously, Eric had, I guess, he's been pushing for this, but they have been really insensitive. They don't care what happens to her. Katie, Donna, Eric, none of them care about what happens to Taylor. None of them. And they keep pushing this thing. Eric found out, and then after all of the excitement, then at the last moment, oh yeah, well, how's Taylor? How you think she is? And then this fool had the nerve to say, oh, she's hurt. She's devastated. But she's the strongest person I know. So is that why you did it? Because you know she was going to take the high road? I mean, seriously. Now, we also get to see in the promo a confrontation between Taylor and Eric. Who knows how that's going to go down? But I'm just, yeah. Eric, what you said, that old gizzard, you so crazy, Tamika. Sharon said, hopefully they will not turn Thomas too dark. Maybe just have Thomas alienate himself from Forrester and Steffi, and maybe Steffi too. Listen. Now, shout out to Soap Dirt. Belinda over there doing big things. She did a standalone video about what she would, and I'm assuming, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but I found it very interesting that she did a video with Steph coming back, because she is back filming after her maternity leave, that could it be a possibility, because she has 37.5% of the shares, and well, it still wouldn't put her in the 50 percentile because Thomas has 5%, but figure out a way to oust Ridge. That would be interesting. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting video. Again, giving a shout out to Belinda over at Soap Dirt. She doing big things over there, and I found that video very entertaining. I would love to see both Steffi and Taylor come after Ridge. Leave Brooke out of this at this point. All they're gonna do, because if Thomas comes after Brooke, it's going to alienate or probably cause problems with Douglas and Hope and all of this stuff. You know what I mean? So he needs to channel that energy over to his father. Eric was going on to Ridge about how Brooke could die tomorrow. Newsflash, so could Taylor. Exactly, David. Eric, the instigator, that's who's living in Ridge's life. Ridge is not man enough to make his own decisions, being a wimp. Yep. Let's see. Looking at some of y'all comments. Poor Taylor, poor Tay-Tay. She has to get on with her life. Hopefully they can give... I don't know. what are they going to do with the character now? And I hope they would give her some sort of a love life or something, but with who is the question? Deacon, maybe? Because he might be free soon after he found out what Sheila's been keeping a secret. And the only other person is Bill Spencer. But I don't know if they're going to try to put something between him and Katie. And thank you, writers, for listening. Because we were saying over the past few weeks how, and I'm not going to get too deep back into that other storyline, how Will should be having conversations about this with his dad. They finally looped Bill into this whole conversation. So I was glad to see that, but enough of that part. I'm dumb. I ain't interested in that. We also got to see Donna being excited as well. Daphne looked like she was trying to fit into that moment, but she was excluded. I mean, even after she gave Brooke some perfume, she was standing like an outsider looking in. I'm like, girl, please, you could have saved that perfume, gave it to me. I'll wear it. Or kept it for Steph when she got back. That's your friend. I know, right? Sandra Taylor needs a new man, period. Oh, Tamika, you think Deacon would be a good match for Taylor? Katie would interfere too much with Bill and Taylor relationship. I agree with that. Cynthia, that's a good point. Cynthia said Brooke has been with Deacon and Bill. No, Taylor needs a Brooke free man. That is true. Because then Brooke would be interfering with that. Okay, so Melissa says they are bringing a new love interest for Taylor in the fall. Won't be Bill. They have dropped hints at a possible reunion between Bill and Katie bonding over Will. Yeah, that's a good question, Sharon. What purpose will Ridge serve over at the gate? Supposedly align all his designs with Danny's company. Interesting. There's no word of the... Yeah, I don't know. She kept it a secret this time. I've heard rumors that she had another boy, but I'm not sure about that. I can't confirm or deny. I don't know. If they put Deacon with Taylor, Steffi and Hope would not like it. Yeah, because I agree with that. But I saw something that was upcoming that Hope and Steffi are going to be at odds again. So I don't know. Maybe it's over that. Finn's father would be a match. Jack, yes, Jack, Ted King guy. Jack would be a good match for that too. I agree. All right, so that's what we had this week. I don't like the fact that they want to make Thomas dark. He needs to rechannel that energy to his father. Remy is back in this mess of a storyline with Luna. The other mess of a storyline is this whiplash breakup and marriage. And we get to see the confrontations next week. And I think Monday will probably be the one between Thomas, Brooke, and Ridge, which I am looking forward to. All right, let's finish up with Beyond the Gates. And I'm going to get through this one. A lot of the last couple weeks have been focused around Chelsea and the kidnapping with Allison. I'm glad that's come to an end. We got the aftermath where Chelsea's trying to deal with PTSD and how she don't want to be an influencer anymore because people are too involved in her life. And I gotta agree, social media can be a very dark place. If people feel that they know you, then they try to figure that they can dictate your life. So I understand that part of it. That's why as much as I do podcasting and I do other things live, I try to keep it strictly professional. As much as, I have conversations and we have a good time. But, and I might show different things, like a trip here or two, or we talk about small things, like I had my car accident, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, we all don't know each other. So I understand why she would feel that way, but that's the life of an influencer. When you have several million fans, you probably also have several million haters and stalkers. If not 10% of that, that's still 100,000. So I can understand that part of it. But the storyline itself with Allison, yeah, the girl is cuckoo for Cocoa Pops. And the fact that she thinks that she's actually married to this girl and that she knows Chelsea's every movement, every step, her shoe size, her favorite breakfast food, all it is, yeah, that's stalkerish obsessive. And she's definitely getting on Jacob's nerves. Definitely getting on Jacob's nerves. Other storylines this week is Ted Plays, and I did a standalone video on that. The audacity of what's her name? Eva. So, first of all, everybody in the chat, drop a yes or a no if you've been enjoying the standalone videos, because I've been doing them this week. I want to make sure that you find them entertaining and interesting. So if you enjoy the standalone videos in the chat that I've been posting this week, like I did the simping video with Michael, I did Billy Loses Everything, I did the hypocrisy of Claire, I did the audacity of Eva, and I think I did another one. What was it? Yeah, are you guys enjoying the standalone videos? Because I know a couple people was like, oh my God, I'm glad you kind of talking about Y&R on this channel a little bit, so I kind of want to bring some stuff back. So yeah, I want to make sure. That you guys are enjoying it. So I want to see if you guys say yes if you're enjoying the standalone videos. Okay, great. I only see 3 yeses. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Leslie got played, which is part of the standalone video that I did on Eva and her audacity. So Eva decides to ask Ted to figure out a way to keep her mother from moving across the street from Vernon and Anita. So Ted decides to lie to Leslie and says, hey, you know what? I got a better option because I know how you think and you're going to want to stick it to Nicole. Take my house. I'll sell you, turn the deed over. You can sign right here and you're good to go. Just withdraw your offer to the property across the street from her parents. She did it, showed up over at Nicole's house and realized that she got played. She comes back to the hotel where Eva was staying, hotter than fish grease. And Eva was like, oh my God, what happened? Ted played me. I withdrew my offer. He told me this, that, and the third and gave me his house, but he didn't own the house. And now she's in tears. Now, of course, her being her daughter did not like her mother being upset. Okay? Ted shows up and Eva is pissed that he hurt her mom and kicks him out. And I'm like, wait, girl, you have the audacity to ask this man to stop your mama. Not only the fact of that, but this is the same dad that you never knew you had thanks to your mother because she lied and never told Ted that you ever existed. And then Ted gave you 2 career opportunities. First, you were able to do hair at one of the prestigious hair salons in the state. And when you didn't want to do that, the second opportunity is that you get to work with your biological father at his plastic surgeon company. But you kick him out. I'm like, you know what? Ted, that's what you needed to see. That girl only likes you. Now, I'm not saying that she doesn't want her father, but she see him as a means to an end when she wants. When Leslie asks for money, Lily's healed, and she knows it, and she uses it to her advantage. And Lily's healed, and she knows it, and she uses it to her advantage. And the moment it didn't go the way that she wanted, then she gets pissed and want to throw him out. Yep. Leslie has done worse. Yes. Sherelle say, yes, very nice. Okay, great. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. I see all the yeses in the chat. I'm glad you did a standalone video for Y&R. Thank you, Gail. Cynthia says, Eva and Leslie have a terrible dysfunctional relationship. They absolutely do. Her mother plays hot and cold. When Eva does something that she wants, she's in her good graces. When Eva does something that is against her, then she don't want to be bothered with her, or she uses her. Leslie is so dumb, but glad she got played. Wait until Leslie find out Eva had a part in it. Exactly. Because she don't know that part. Nope. She do not know that part. All right. So then Ted had, after the aftermath of everybody being over with Chelsea over at the house, Ted wanted a gold star. So he told Nicole, like, listen, I figured out a way to help keep this woman from moving across the street. And she was like, hey, okay, I give you a clap on the hand, but that don't mean nothing. Then the Duprees, including Bill, threw trash in this man's face by making bets on who's going to win this one, on Nicole versus Ted. Ted handed all of them their faces, including Bill. And they thought it was funny. And Nicole realizes, like, okay, you know what? Maybe we going a little bit too far. This ain't funny no more. Because they're being disrespectful. And for her, and I granted, this man did do something bad. He slept with another woman, had a child 30 years ago. He thought it was just an affair. Didn't know that Leslie kept the baby secret from him. He didn't know he had a kid. But the fact of the matter is that that affair happened and it was kept a secret. And so she felt that it was a lie. And she has every right to feel that way. But y'all being real petty. And Danny got a lot of nerve. Because Danny is the one saying, Nicole, yeah, you do the right thing. Yeah, you cut him off at the knees. Okay, the difference between Bill and Ted had one affair. Bill had several. So much so that he slept with your daughter's friend and married her. Yet you're still trying to get him back. Yet you're cheering on Nicole for cutting Ted off at the knees. Make that make sense? That makes zero sense to me. Can you guys hear me? Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Say yes, say no. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh my gosh. No. I'm losing signal. Let's see. Oh my goodness. We were doing so good. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Did y'all hear? Hold on. Did you hear me about Ted? Okay, did y'all hear me about Ted? Did y'all hear me say something about Ted? Yes. Okay. So what I was saying is that the Duprees had a lot of nerve. They were being really shady. Nicole didn't like it after she realized, and as a therapist, she should realize that at some point being petty can affect the emotional health of another person. He cheated 30 years ago, didn't tell nobody about it. A kid came out of it, which he did not know about it, but they're upset at him. Danny got a lot of nerve. Danny got a lot of nerve telling Nicole to chop Ted off at the knees when Bill had multiple affairs, including sleeping with his daughter's friend and marrying her. That's what I said to sum it all up. That's what I said. So hopefully you guys heard all of that. Make sure you guys heard all of that. Refresh. All right. Let me get through this because this signal thing is ridiculous. That is true, Crystal. Crystal says Ted is an idiot. If he wanted his family back, he should have focused on that. And Nicole still doesn't know he gave Leslie more money because Eva asked him to. Yep, I agree with that. I agree. Um, Other things, Bill and Danny seems to be getting closer. Bill seems like he is getting sick and tired of Haley. And this whole situation with Chelsea is bonding the two of them. At the same token, Naomi is like, what you trying to do with my mama? You already broke her heart once. And I agree with Bill. Bill was like, why don't you talk to your mama? I'm married, you know. But I still think that there's some residual feelings that's bouncing back and forth between those two. At the same token, Haley is jealous, and so now she want to use Tomas to stick it to Bill. However, Tomas is dating Kat, but also interested in Eva. So I don't know how that's going to work. That's going to be crazy. But I think Kat is really ready to kick Tomas to the curb because he keeps defending Eva. Yeah, Brooklyn, that whole thing with him trying to make her, yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. We also saw Joey and Vanessa back to have an affair, and Doug walked in on it. I don't know what impact that's going to have on Doug because Doug was about to take her on a second honeymoon, and at the same time, Vanessa was telling Joey to back up off of Doug, and Doug is thinking that his marriage is on track. So yeah, that whole thing is about to implode. Let me see what else happened. Oh, and Samantha and this boy. I don't know. There's something about this party that he wants her to go to, and about him being excited that he's a Dupree. I mean, she's a Dupree. I'm not feeling that. Samantha's getting herself into trouble. Exactly, Gail. Something ain't right about these guys luring her into a party. So I hope she don't. She snuck a boy in there. Kat read her the riot act, which she should, because she tried to find a place where she didn't have to deal with her dads. And she took them over to the studio in their apartment. Anything could have happened on the Dupree's property with this boy. So that was not the cool thing to do. Didn't she learn from the first time with Kenneth? You helped a strange man. You don't know. And granted, she liked this boy. But yeah. Yeah, Bobby. Haley and Caroline don't know Tomas has a relationship with Kat. That's what I'm saying. This is going to get ugly if they're going to try to use Tomas against Bill. And Eva is trying to use Tomas against Bill to use him as an attorney to sue Bill. I'm like, yeah, that's crazy. He's a fool if he actually goes up against his own boss for Eva. Don't do it. Don't do it. What else happened this week? That was pretty much it. I mean, the end of the whole saga with Allison and Chelsea. Eva being upset with her audacity with Ted. Ted reading the Dupree's The Riot Act. Leslie getting played. Eva's trying to use Tomas against his boss and trying to come in between him and Kat. And Haley's trying to use Tomas against his boss too. And then Samantha with this whole issue. We did have a moment between Smitty and what is his name? Oh my God. The two husbands. And even though they had a moment together, Smitty was like, that don't mean you moving back up in here. So don't get it twisted. So we'll see how that couple reunites if they do. All purpose Tomas. You funny, Bobby. So pretty interesting stuff. Bill will crush Tomas. Yeah, he's going to be screwed on both ends. Being sued by Eva and being used by Haley, he going to be out of a job. And he trying to make partner. Well, Tomas, this is not the way to do it. And then the whole thing with Vanessa. Vanessa, Doug, and Joey. Oof, that's about to get ugly. Vanessa can't stay away from Joey. It's some element of danger that this man has that she likes. Whereas Doug is, hard-working guy. She got a couple of kids with him. Oh, Ashley. Ashley and what is that guy name? Derek. Derek overheard Ashley telling Andre that, maybe if it wasn't for, his accident, she still might be with Andre, and I know that had to hurt. This man laid it on thick to try to see what she would crack. And then she had a conversation with her mother. And her mother's like, listen, this is what you're going to have to do. Who can't you live without? Is it Andre or is it Derek? And she realizes it's Derek, and she goes over to the hospital and proposes to this man. And he's looking crazy. So we will see if Derek actually... I know he wants to get married. He wanted to get married to her months ago. But she kept thinking that it was something better out there with Andre. Andre is a bad boy who's sleeping with Danny and all this kind of stuff. You got stability over there with Derek. He wants to build a life with you. He wants to marry you. He wants to be your husband. He's safe. He's a hard-working firefighter. Yeah, I think that's where you need to go. Because just because it looks fun and dangerous over there don't mean that you need to be with Andre. Because Andre gonna do Andre. Yeah, so. All right, so that's what we had with Beyond the Gates. And I'm still going to do my flips, my seats, Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, and Simple Olympics. So, my flip on the Young and the Restless would have been, let me think. Would have been Holden sending Claire back to her boyfriend. And it would have been something like, listen, I understand you're curious about me and what's going on in my life, but you got a man that loves you. He's working hard to get in the good graces of your grandfather. I'm not going to let you get in my business. You need to go over there and figure out what you want to do with Kyle. Whether it's to fix the relationship or whether it's to move on and break up with him. So that's what I would have had her do on my flip on that. My flip on Bold, First of all, I'm sick of that Luna storyline. I'm over it. But this whole thing with Taylor, Bridge, and Brooke, we didn't need another go round of that. We really didn't. Y'all didn't need to break them up during the coup. If it was just a misunderstanding, she took the CEO position just to protect the company from Carter and Hope. Ridge should have just saw that, played it in the background, and we wouldn't even have to deal with this. And Taylor and all this other drama wouldn't have happened. And then bringing Thomas back to play a dark character all over again, erasing the history from the last 2.5, 3 years. Beyond the Gates, my flip was if Kat needed to kick him to the curb. I'm over this whole thing with Tomas. You're being openly disrespectful. This girl took part in destroying her family's life, even though Ted is a big part of it. But she worked with her mother, and as much as she's trying to act like she's in Kat's corner, and yes, they're biological sisters, there's still a lot of pain there. And Tomas needs to stay out of it. Stop kowtowing to Eva, even though, honestly, in my opinion, I think they have more of a better connection. But you need to either end this relationship with Kat and stop playing two in the middle. I'm over that. And then if I had another flip on BTG, is figure out what you're going to do with Bill and Danny. If you're going to put them two together, let's do it. Let's just do it and keep it moving. I mean, there's definitely a lot of chemistry between those two. And honestly, I'm thinking Bill, now that the newness of Haley is over, I'm thinking that he's ready to go back to Danny. Now, should I say, should she accept him back? No. But y'all got to figure out what y'all going to do with that. Seats. Taking seats on Y&R. Billy. Michael. And if I had to pick one more other person. And Claire. Because Claire's getting on my nerves. Taking seats on Bold. Oh God. The whole Eric needs to take a seat. And Luna definitely needs to take a seat right into a prison cell. Taking seats on BTG. Vanessa, Leslie, Eva, and Tomas. Vanessa just, I think, officially blew up her marriage. Star of the week, Y&R. As much as I'm going to give it to Christian LeBlanc, because obviously he is definitely simping hard. He has really took it to a level where we're just looking at him like, wow. So he's definitely playing the role. Bold. I don't know who to give it to on Bold. Not sure. Yeah, because I don't know. It's a weird storyline with Bold. Ugh. And then on BTG, I'll give it to... I mean, as crazy as she is, that girl knows she playing a Looney Tune. I'm going to give it to the character the actress that plays Allison. The girl is off her freaking rocker. And whoever, I forgot her name because I follow her on Instagram. She's doing an excellent job at playing this role. And I think that's all I'm going to give it to. All right, you guys. We're going to end it right there. Oh, Simp Olympics. Star of the week, Pickle of the week. Pickle of the week, Claire for Y&R. Pickle of the week, Luna for B&B. Pickle of the week, Tomas. And then our Simp Olympics, the whole thing goes to Michael Baldwin with the Cosmic Universe Award. And we're going to give it to him. And we're going to leave it right there. All right, so you guys stay tuned for more videos. I appreciate you hanging out with me this morning on this impromptu live. I enjoyed chatting with you guys. And until next time,